The transport ship rattled as it descended through the crimson atmosphere of Zarian 7. Alexa gripped the safety harness, her knuckles white against the worn leather. She was one of 12 human diplomats sent to negotiate peace with the Drachner Empire, a civilization that had dominated this sector of the galaxy for 3 millennia. Remember, Commander Hayes had told them before departure, humans are considered weak, fragile. They'll test you. Alexa had nodded then, confident in her training. Now, as the ship's doors hissed open to reveal the towering obsidian structures of the Drachner capital, that confidence wavered. The Drachner were magnificent and terrifying in equal measure, standing nearly 8 feet tall. Their scaled bodies rippled with corded muscle beneath armor that seemed grown rather than forged. Their eyes, 3 of them, arranged in a triangle on their angular faces, glowed with an amber intensity that spoke of predatory intelligence. Nox was the first warrior to approach their delegation. He was larger than the others, his scales a deep emerald that caught the light of Zarian 7's twin suns. Elaborate markings covered his armor, denoting rank and countless battles won. As the Drachner's supreme battle commander, Nox had personally crushed 17 rebellions and conquered 9 star systems. The human delegates stood in formation, trying not to show fear as the Drachner Council assembled. Alexa had studied their culture extensively. She knew that any sign of weakness would doom the negotiations before they began. These are the humans? Nox's voice was like grinding stone, translated through the neural implant behind Alexa's ear. They look like they would break in a strong wind. Laughter rumbled through the assembled Drachner warriors. Several delegates shifted uncomfortably. Commander Hayes stepped forward, beginning the prepared greeting, but Nox wasn't listening. His triple gaze had fixed on Alexa. She met his stare, refusing to look away. Something flickered across his alien features, surprise, perhaps, or curiosity. The council chamber was a vast arena carved from a single piece of volcanic glass. The humans sat on one side, the Drachner on the other, with Nox presiding from an elevated throne. The negotiations began poorly. The Drachner demanded tribute, territory, and subservience. The humans offered trade, alliance, and mutual respect. Respect. Nox rose from his throne, his voice echoing through the chamber. What respect do predators owe to prey? He descended from the platform, each step deliberate and menacing. The other Drachner warriors watched, anticipating entertainment. Nox circled the human delegation like a shark, his clawed feet clicking against the polished floor. He stopped behind Alexa. "This one," he said, "has been watching me with defiant eyes. Does she not understand the natural order?" Before anyone could respond, Nox's massive hand shot out and grabbed Alexa's collar, hauling her to her feet. The fabric strained, but didn't tear. Military grade, designed for exactly this scenario. Gasps and shouts erupted from the human delegates. "Release her," Hayes commanded, reaching for his sidearm. But Alexa raised her hand, signaling him to stand down. Her heart hammered against her ribs, but her voice was steady. "I understand your order perfectly, Commander Nox. The strong survive. The weak perish. It's the law of nature throughout the universe." Nox pulled her closer, his breath hot against her face. "Then you understand you are weak." "No," Alexa said calmly. "I understand that you confuse physical strength with true power." The chamber fell silent. Even the other Drachner seemed shocked by her audacity. Nox's triple eyes narrowed dangerously. "Explain," he growled, "before I demonstrate the difference." Alexa could feel his claws pressing against the collar, but she didn't flinch. "You've conquered 9 systems by force. How many have you lost? How many rebellions have you crushed?" 17, I believe." Nox's grip tightened marginally. "You rule through fear," Alexa continued, "which means you must constantly fight to maintain control. Your empire is strong but brittle. One significant defeat, one sign of weakness, and it will shatter. And humans?" Nox's voice was deadly quiet. "We build alliances. We adapt. We endure. 3 times in our history, we've nearly destroyed ourselves. Each time, we came back stronger. Not because we're the toughest or the most powerful, but because we refuse to break." Something changed in Nox's expression. His third eye, the one Alexa had read, was connected to their emotional center, pulsed with a different color. "You think I cannot break you?" He lifted her higher, her feet leaving the ground, I think, Alexa said, meeting each of his eyes in turn, that breaking me would prove my point. True strength doesn't need to break others to prove itself. For a long moment, Nox held her suspended. The entire chamber seemed to hold its breath. Then, slowly, he set her down. His hand lingered on her collar for a heartbeat before releasing her. He stepped back, his posture different, still commanding, but contemplative. The human speaks wisdom, he announced to the assembly. Several Drakner warriors hissed in surprise or disapproval. Nox silenced them with a gesture. For 3,000 years, we have ruled through conquest, and for 3,000 years, we have known only war. He turned back to Alexa, and she saw something unexpected in his alien features. Respect, perhaps, he said quietly. It is time to learn a different kind of strength. The negotiations transformed after that moment. Nox never spoke with the same aggressive certainty again. He listened more than he commanded, questioned more than he demanded. Other Drakner warriors noticed the change in their supreme commander, and slowly, grudgingly, they began to listen to Dot. By the end of the week, a treaty was drafted, not of subjugation, but of genuine alliance. The Drakner would share their military technology. The humans would share their agricultural and medical advances. Together, they would face the threats lurking in the unexplored regions of space. On the final evening, Nox requested a private meeting with Alexa. They stood on a balcony overlooking the Drakner capital, the twin suns setting in a blaze of purple and gold. I grabbed your collar, intending to humiliate you, Nox said, his translated words softer than before. To prove human weakness before my people. I know, Alexa replied. Instead, you humiliated me, but not through shame, through truth. He was quiet for a moment. A warrior speaks with his actions. After today, I found I had no words worthy of speaking. Everything I would have said came from the old way, the way of conquest and fear. Alexa looked up at the massive alien warrior. And now, Nox's triple eyes met hers, and for the first time, she saw them not as predatory, but contemplative. Now I must learn a new language, the language of alliance, of trust. He paused. Your people call it diplomacy. We have no word for it in Drakner. Then perhaps, Alexa said with a slight smile, we'll teach you. Nox made a sound that might have been laughter or perhaps something without human translation. Yes, perhaps you will. As the suns disappeared below the horizon and the stars emerged in the alien sky, Alexa realized that sometimes the greatest victories came not from weapons or warriors, but from the courage to speak truth to power. Nox had grabbed her collar, expecting to break her spirit. Instead, she had opened his mind, and in doing so, had changed the course of two civilizations forever.